We are so excited to bring you the first ever episode of The Things I Wish My Mum Had Told Me. It's a podcast by me, Claira Hermit.
And me, Emma Tamsin-Hill.
And we're here, and this is it. We've been talking about it, and now it's really here.
We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah.
I've been asked all the time, when are you going to start a podcast? When are you going to start a podcast? And I just never wanted to do it alone. And then I met you, and it's like our worlds collided.
Yeah.
Here we are, soulmates.
We are soulmates. Someone messaged to say we'd make a good couple earlier. So that's nice, isn't it?
I love that for us.
If things don't work out, when do we let go?
We're still holding.
It's like,
we'll let go now.
You know. But yeah, so we're here. We're doing the podcast. We're really excited, and we hope that you love it. Please make sure if you're listening on one of the, platforms, whatever they're called, streaming sites they're called, that you subscribe, leave a comment, rate us, give us a like, all of that stuff. Please support the thing.
Yeah, and we need you to follow us on Instagram as well, at mumtoldmepod.
Yep. And if you have any dilemmas or saucy secrets that you want to share with us, the saucy secrets will become clear a little later on in the episode. Then, Instagram, or of course the email. What's the email?
mumtoldmepod@gmail.com.
Just testing.
Baby.
She knows it off by heart, baby.
I pretty much guessed that, but here we are. I guessed it right.
You did. You smashed it.
Thank you.
So on today's episode, the first ever episode, what have we decided to talk about, Emma?
Today, we're talking about something that we can both relate to.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the people out there can relate to. We're talking about being single, what it's like to be single in this day and age. And maybe we'll even touch on a little bit of heartbreak. Yeah.
No. I am single. It will be coming up for 5 years in October. So, I mean, there's a few months still to go.
Yeah.
But that's a long time to be single. And honestly, the question I hate the most, why are you still single? Bro,
I actually hate when people ask me this, because it's like, what do you mean, why am I single?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many great qualities, but I don't know. It's just, you know what it is? It's not even that it's hard to meet nice people. It's just sometimes you meet nice people and then it's like, it just doesn't work for whatever reason.
The timing's off. The timing's off. It can be anything. And also, I think when people ask why you're still single, it's like they're insinuating that there's some kind of problem. And it's like, there are 8 billion people on this planet. To think that everyone is going to find like a soulmate at the same time, when society deems it tick, tick, is a bit crazy. It's like a crazy notion to assume that everyone is going to fall into that category. It's hard. It's really difficult to find someone that you actually want to spend the rest of your life with.
And it's like, even if you find someone that you really get along with, it's like, you have to think about all the factors. Like, could we put up with each other for a long time? Would it work with our families? Would it work with job, whatever it is? There's just too much to think about, and then I get stressed and I have to stop thinking about it.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, and like whether your values align, all of that kind of stuff goes into it. But I do think, that it's taken me a while to get to a place where I'm really comfortable being single. And sometimes when I say that, I think people assume that I just want to be single forever, and that means that I'm not. I'm like dating. I don't want to be single forever. I would love to be in a relationship, but it needs to be the right relationship.
Yeah, I feel that. Like recently, I've been going through a little breakup. It wasn't really like a proper relationship. I'd say like my last relationship was ended, let me think, 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
Yeah. And that was like proper relationship. This one I was in, it was more like a situationship. It was like we're exclusive, but like, are we together? Are we not together? But we act like we're together in X, Y, and Z.
Was that not mad confusing though? I wouldn't be able to do that. Either we're in it or we're not. That's it.
It was like, but I'm the kind of person I like to take it slow. So I'm not like, I am a relationship person. I've got a lot of love to give. I'm a very loving person, but I don't jump from relationship to relationship. It takes me a lot to actually want to be with someone like that and commit to them. I think because when I'm single, like I am dating so many different people. So for me to like give all that up for one person, it's like, you got to be something really special. I mean, that makes it sound quite bad, but I don't know. I feel like when you're single, you take things from various people into the things you like to make a life you like, and then when you meet someone,
it's mixing it
like,
up. It's like you're making a cake.
All the things you want. But you know what this situation really taught me?
My mic was running away from me then. Even my mic wants me to be single.
This situation really taught me a lot, Yeah.
But
I don't know, like it was like a situationship. We were together for like 8 months, and the heartbreak was really fucking heartbreaking on this one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I mean, that's the thing. I guess like where I've been single for 5 years, don't get me wrong, in that time, there's been a couple of guys I met that I really like. liked that have things haven't gone well, and it's not because of me, it's because of them essentially, and that's really hurtful.
Not me, it's you.
It's not me, it's you. It's me.
Why was it them?
Hi. So let's just do this. In one case, I met this guy. We've been dating for, it hadn't been long. It'd been about 4 or 5 weeks. I found out I was pregnant, and you know, I really do want to have kids, but I think, like, not that I have to justify this, but for me personally, I want to be in the right place, right time. I grew up without my mum. She died when I was 9. I know how that feels. I didn't want to do that to a child. And this guy was adamant. I do not. There was not even a conversation, consideration, nothing. So I decided to have an abortion. And just the way that he dealt with it was horrible. Like, it was horrible. And, you know, like, my best friend came with me to the clinic, and she was quite heavily pregnant at the time. So it was a little bit like, oh, but she's really supportive. She stayed with me like for the whole time. And so just the way that it goes from like, oh yeah, you know, like, I'm willing to have sex with you and I really like you and this could be, to then it's like, no. And it just the way he acted, I was like, you can't come back from that. You can never come back from that.
That's a lot to go through alone as well.
It was. This is quite a while ago now, right? And at that time, I think what I realised is that actually I'm quite, like, I needed to do some work on myself as well. Like, I'm not just going to say it was just him, because even before the pregnancy thing, I was just really reactive to stuff and kind of took things really to heart. And it wasn't even that much of a big deal. And I allowed a lot of kind of like my past shit to be put onto him.
Yeah, you're feeling triggered a lot.
Yeah, and then kind of, you know, my reaction wasn't relative to the situation. So I knew I had to do some work, and I've done that work and carried on doing that work. There was another guy who I really, really liked. Oh dear, this is a sad tale, everyone. And basically, he's such a
Why are you laughing when you're saying it's going to be a sad tale?
Because no, we got on really well. Like, we're having loads of fun together, and we've been seeing each other for like 2 weeks. And he's like, look, I've got a break from work coming up. When this happens, I always go on holiday. Do you want to come with me? I was like, sure. You know, like, we're both grown people. Let's just go on holiday. So we're going to go on this holiday. The place that he wanted to go, my friend has a mate that works there, so she gave us a discount code for like this beautiful hotel to get like whatever % off. Anyway, he got ill, and he started being like really weird with me during that time. I did drive to his house and leave soup and stuff outside, because I'm just a genuinely nice person. But I think he took that as me being too nice.
I hate that, but that's his shit.
That's his shit,
and not your shit. You're just being yourself.
Exactly. And also, there was once where I was a bit vulnerable with him, and he was like, "That's not confident, and confidence is sexy." And I was just like,
"Well, like, everyone's confident all the time. Everyone has moments where they're."
But also, down. It takes confidence to be vulnerable with someone.
100%.
Right?
Because you're putting a step out there, putting yourself in a case where you might be vulnerable or susceptible to rejection, and that's what is confident is. If you weren't confident, you keep everything to yourself all the time.
But he saw my vulnerability as a massive turn off, basically. Then he got over that. And then it was like Valentine's Day, sent me roses. I went to his house. We had like a nice evening. And then the next day he was just off with me. And he told me like, come to my house, like, work from my house. And then he was just being weird with me all day. So I was like, right, I'm not going to leave until I have some answers, because this is weird.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, oh, yeah, you know, I just don't think this is going to work. And I was like, he's like, I'm not sure we're compatible. And I was like, what? Why don't you think we're compatible? He's like, basically told me that I was too opinionated and that he couldn't see me gelling with his family. And then he went, but I haven't decided yet.
What, like, you're just going to stick around?
You haven't decided yet. Then it was that I'm vegan was a problem suddenly. But he hadn't decided yet. So I just got like, and then he's sitting at the table telling me this, and he just joins his work Zoom call. I'm like, I started crying. I left, and he was like, let me know when you get home safe. And I was just like, are you delusional? So I blocked him on everything, because I know I can be reactive. So I was like, I'm not going to react. I'm not going to do anything. Anyway, cut a long story short, after a week I unblocked him, found out he went on the holiday, used a discount code with some other girl.
Oh. Not the long clap, blank stare.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then the most recent one, there's another one. Bearing in mind, I've been single for 5 years, so, you know, there's a few. The most recent one I really liked, but he's just not, he's like a little kid. He's not emotionally available enough. And everything is too scary, and everything is too risky, and everything is too, and I'm just like, I can't be bothered.
I feel like this happens a lot though. Like, I saw this poll recently that said, it was like over 50% of men say they don't want a relationship. It's like, what are we doing out here then?
Yeah, what
like,
is
because you
this?
keep trying to like chat to us and whatnot, but you don't want a relationship.
What do you want?
You know what it is for me? I actually don't care what people want or what stage they're in, as long as you're communicating and you're being honest with yourself and honest with the person that you're seeing. And that's all it takes. But people don't want to do that because they want to bend it up so they can sort of get what they want out of you. And then, but it's like, but if say a man, right?
But in some cases they do. In some cases they do. But I genuinely feel like in some cases that guys think they want something, but the reality of that situation is too much for them. Like, it's an emotional overload. It's too much. And actually they don't have the tools to be able to communicate properly. They haven't dealt with any of their trauma. Because we're talking about, you know, like you said when I was saying about me with that guy, and you're like, you know, you were being triggered. It's your past trauma. I had to realise that, work on that, deal with it all so that I don't bring that into a next relationship. But we know what the state of things are. For a lot of guys, they don't have anyone to talk to. Them going to therapy should be completely normal, but it could be really difficult. And so it means that they're coming with all of this baggage and no way to unload it. And so it's just too much.
Yeah, and I think for fucking hell, can I talk?
Can you?
I think for a lot of people, a lot of men, their default is to run away from that situation when it gets too tough instead of face it head on. But like you said, if they've not been given the tools to unpack that and realize why they're acting like that, I get it. When someone gets too much, you just want to run away and pretend it's not existing. Yeah. And I do get that, but it's very hurtful to like people that you're with. Like I've been in situations with people, like one is sticking out in my mind where it's like you try to have an adult conversation with them and speak about your feelings and just be open and be honest. And it's like they physically cannot do it. Like they'd rather run away from the situation. Like I was telling you before, there's this guy that I've known for a very long time. And he was up in my phone a few weeks ago being like, you're the love of my life and blah, blah, blah. This, that and the other, 2 a.m. And now it's like trying to make some sort of meeting and it's just not happening and not communicating. And you know what? I'm past the stage now of being passive aggressive with someone and being like, fine, whatever. I'm just going to tell you how I feel.
I do exactly the same.
So I sent him a text and said, look, like, I don't like how your communication is not great. And I'd really want you to work on that if you want to pursue me. And then it's like he's read the message and not fucking replied. So it's like, I've done what I can do. Like now it's in your hands. And I feel like a lot of people just, they don't know how to deal with it. So let me just ignore it.
But as a single person, like, can you cut people off? Because this is the hard thing. Is like when you like somebody, it's where is that cutoff point? Like, where is enough? Because I would say, like, for most people, for me, you get 2 chances. Yeah. And it can be really hard because you like someone. But what I have found, like for me now, and look, I wasn't like this when I was in my 20s at all, but for me now, like the more people act like that, the more of a turn off it has become for me, because it's unhealthy and it's toxic. In the past, it used to make me want them more because I'm like, please want me, validate me. But now I'm just like, oh shit, you're gonna act like that. I don't want that. Thank you, goodbye. So I do try and give people like the benefit of the doubt because I know like what my experience has been. So it's like, okay, yeah, we all have emotions, we all have past, we all have history. Maybe they just need a bit of time, or maybe they just need that. But if that pattern continues, I'm gone, because it's never gonna be what I want it to be, and I'm just wasting my time. Yeah. But when I was in my 20s, I did spend 7.5 years on and off with this guy. And when I say on and off, it would be like off for 6 months, sometimes off for a year. But then, you know, I would go back to him. And when I was with other people during that time, all I could think about was him. I loved him so much, loved him. And recently he came back into my life and was just like, I'm ready. Like I'm ready. I want to be with you. And we started like going on dates and stuff. I think we started hanging out first, and then this I'm ready came up. Then we started going on dates, and then we had to have like proper conversations. And it's like, do we want the same thing? Are we in the yes. Actions did not back it up. So I was just like, this isn't going to work for me. Like this isn't going to work for me.
And you have to be firm in your boundaries. Like I'm fucking shit with boundaries. Right. I'm such a chronic people pleaser. And I talk about this with my therapist. Like I struggle to set boundaries and advocate for myself. As much as I'll tell other people to do that, I find it hard to take my own advice. So yeah, when it comes to boundaries and 1 chance, 2 chance, whatever, I can be pissed off with someone for a period of time, and then I'll just be like, ugh. Yeah, but it's like the only person I'm hurting is myself, which is why now when someone who's been in my life for a long time they exhibit the same behaviors that they've always exhibited, I don't get mad at them anymore. I get mad at myself.
Right.
So I'm like, well, you're the dickhead that allowed them to be here.
So how do you get to a place where you stop allowing people to be like that to you? Because like where is the cutoff point, and why this is turning into a therapy session? And why are you not doing it? Because I think also like from my perspective, it's like, right, the right person for me, I truly believe exists, and I honestly I think we have more than one soulmate or whatever it is person. You can definitely meet the right person, and it can be the wrong time, like the timing can be off, but that doesn't matter. There's no point waiting around for them. You have to go and live your life, and there'll be another right person. Even if right now it doesn't feel like it, there's going to be another right person. But you've got to get to the place where it's like, this is my time that's being wasted.
Yeah.
But I guess it depends on what you want. Like if you're in a place in your life where it's like, well, I could take a relationship, I could not. Whereas for me, it's like, I want a relationship.
Yeah.
So nothing else is going to suffice. So I'm just like, I want a relationship. Do you want a relationship? Yeah, I want a relationship. Now, when someone says that, it doesn't mean they want it with me. It just means like, are you being intentional in your life about looking for something that is long term? Yeah. If we're both on the same page, let's get to know each other and see if we want to do that journey together.
Yeah.
So if someone doesn't act aligned with their words, I believe what people show me, and then I'm gone.
Love that. Inspiring. I feel the same though. Like there's been people that I'll cut people off and whatnot.
But are they the ones you don't like that much?
I'm just thinking like, I'm thinking, how much do I share on this here podcast? But yeah, like there's definitely been people in my life that I've given more chances to because I feel more strongly about them. Yeah. And then it's annoying because I feel like I even talk to my friends about it. And if I feel like everyone has had or has that one person in their life where it's like, that's my person. And you feel like such a strong connection to them and everything else. And it's like, well, really, if they're still in the back of your mind or they're still in your life in some way, are you ever really going to give anyone else the chance to get that close to you? Because they're always in the back of your mind. You might be with someone, but it's
there. But, I still give people chances now, but I'll give them, like I said, the chances are limited and it's not going to go on. And I'm also not sleeping with them.
Yeah.
So that makes it much easier for me because I'm the kind of person that, like, when I have sex with someone, it makes me feel really emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to be in that place. So it's like, I need to know where we're at before, we take it to that kind of like level. And that's just where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at.
For the people that don't know who are listening right now, Claira you're on it's not a celibacy journey.
Not celibacy. But, not celibacy. I wouldn't say that. But it's been 13 months since I had sex. But I would like to add in, because I'm just going to be really honest and truthful. In that time, there's a couple of times that I've done other stuff.
Heavy petting.
I've done heavy petting. Yeah, very heavy petting.
Very heavy.
No, I've done some heavy petting. But again, like then I was just like, okay, because I honestly think life is an experiment, right?
Yeah.
So even that, I'm talking about someone that I spent, 7.5 years being in love with, essentially. And yeah, okay, probably not the greatest thing, but I can't change it. Like that's the reality. That's how it was. That's how it felt. I learned a lot from it. So I'm not mad that it happened. It's it's an experience. I can talk about it now. Like, would I take it back? No, I can't take it back. So there's no point. Like, no regrets. I just don't think there's time for that. And even like with this kind of not having sex, so it's been 13 months. And even the heavy petting thing, the last time that happened, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, even this doesn't make sense anymore. So I'm just taking that off the table, she says. Just wait for the next update of the podcast. They'll be like, I've been heavy petting left, right, centre. Yeah, and so that's where I'm at. I'm single.
Single Pringle.
Single. But yeah, if people ask why you're single, I don't know. Why am I single? That's what I would say. Like, why? What do you want me to say? There's something wrong with me, or there's not. It's just one of those things.
I think when someone sees like a successful, attractive woman who's like all the things stereotypically that would be the qualities of a good partner, and you're single, people are like, confused. But it's like, what if I'm choosing to be single? But yeah,
it's not necessarily a choice though for me.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, do you like being single?
I do. Like, I enjoy it. I have thing is, and I'm not even, I think sometimes people in the comments like, yeah, you're trying to convince yourself you do. No, I really do. Like, I spent a lot of time on my own as a child. I'm really used to my own company. Like I love it. I love like, you know, like waking up and spending Sunday morning in bed on my own. I like, you know, watching a movie on my own and like getting some snacks in and having a good time. I personally love traveling on my own. Like I've done quite a lot of it. I went on a 10-month trip and I met loads of people when I was on the trip, but essentially I went on my own. I went on a trip to Costa Rica earlier this year. Like I find it really exciting and it expands me as a person because I have to get out my comfort zone, have to meet new people. Yeah. So yeah, I'm genuinely having a good time. And if I want to go to the cinema, I'll go to cinema on my own. If I want to go out for dinner, like none of that stuff's going to stop me. And the other thing I will say is my friendships with like the women in my life and some guys are so good. Yeah. Like undescribably so good, and I love them so much, and they have been incredible that I'm not sure if I was in a relationship if I would have like developed my friendships to that level.
I feel like one really amazing thing about being single is that you don't have to compromise for anyone. Like you just do what you want when you want it. And that in itself is just such a good place to be in. But I feel like so many people, when they're in a relationship, they might enjoy being in a relationship, but some people still miss that freedom they had when they were single. And then some people, when they're single, are like, oh, I wish I had that companionship. Everyone always wants what they can't have or what they feel like is out of their reach right now.
The grass is greener. But I do think like getting to this place in my life, it's like if I was to get into a relationship now with somebody, I think, you know, it's not that I'm not willing to compromise, but I would be like, hopefully they have their own life, I have my own life, and that I'm secure in myself, and that hopefully they're secure in themselves. So there's not any jealousy, like we can go live our own lives, but we can also do stuff together. And I would not have got to this space where I felt like that had I not have been through all of the different things, the ups and downs, the rounds and rounds that I've been through, and if I'd not been single for the time that I've been single. So, you know, I think it's made me, when the next relationship that I get into, I will be the best girlfriend in the world, just letting you know, like basically. So I think it's like a good thing, but you know, you just got to find the right person. And once my best friend always says to me, she's like, because you've got to this point without, you know, settling or making exceptions or any of that, you're just never going to, like, you're not going to, that's it. It's got to be right.
That is really good. And like being happy alone is the major key, because then it's like when you actually do get with someone, you're not getting with them out of necessity of like, I need someone here. It's like, I am choosing you because my life's great without you, but I'm choosing you because
I want you.
Yeah, you bring something really nice to my life.
And I think that's a massive compliment.
So do I. And like, this is what happened with the last guy I was seeing, right? I said to him, I don't know how I phrased it. Maybe I phrased it the wrong way, but it was more like, I don't need you. I want you. Like, I don't need you in my life. Like, I'm good on my own. I do all my shit myself. I'm very self-sufficient, very independent. And then it was like, but I'm choosing you because I want you to be here. But then I feel like sometimes if you're dating men, I feel like they want you to want them because it makes them feel
needed.
Yeah. And I feel like men like that feeling of like, oh, she needs me. She needs me to help her. She needs me to be there. They like that feeling of helping. That's like how they show their love and affection if they're not super romantic.
Yeah. And also, I think it makes them feel secure. Like it's almost like that, you know, like we're hooked into each other's security. And someone said this to me recently, like this guy that I met at a festival who just was messaging me and saying, you know, like your confidence is really sexy, but it's also really intimidating because you don't need anyone. Yeah. And that makes me feel like you wouldn't need me. Yeah. And I'm like, but that's not a good thing that someone needs you. That's codependency. Yeah. To want someone, to choose someone, that's a compliment.
100%.
Like we chose each other to do this podcast. Yeah. We didn't need each other. We chose it.
I can't choose if I want to do this or do this. The audio listeners are going to be confused right now.
We're wiggling our fingers together.
Crossing fingers together.
But do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I just think as well, where was my tangent going? I was thinking of something in my head and I can't.
Just all of these single thoughts going on in your head. The choosing of somebody is the biggest compliment. So, you know, I feel like sometimes you need to look like if you're single right now and thinking I need someone and there's kind of like this sadness or whatever, then I feel like you need to do a little bit of work on yourself to get yourself to a place where you don't have that, because you don't want to be going into every encounter with a guy or a girl or what, like whoever you want to date, but feeling like I desperately need this person to like me. I don't want to be on my own. Yeah. That's not a good space to be choosing a partner from. Do you not? That's not it.
And I feel like so many people are in relationships where they feel unfulfilled. Their needs are not being met. They're not communicating X, Y, and Z, all because they don't want to be alone. And it's like, bro, there's worse fucking things than being alone. It's quite good, actually.
You know, when people so sometimes when I do videos about being like 39 and single, when this comes out, I'll be 40 and single. Or I've met my husband, who knows? But when I do videos about that, I always get people in the comments like, yeah, well, good luck being a 50-year-old cat lady. And I'm like, what's so bad? I've got a cat right now. Yeah. Like, what's so bad about that? Living my life the way that I want to live. The thing is, I think people sometimes assume that like the only love that we receive is romantic love. It's not. Like, there's so many sources of love. I have nieces, nephews, friends, family. Yeah. That I receive love. And yes, of course, like that intimate romantic love is something very, very special, and it's something incredible and amazing. But that's why I want it to be good. If I'm going to go into a relationship, I don't want to just settle because I don't need to.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like in the end, because we are firm in what we want in a partner and we're not like looking for someone out of, oh my God, I need someone. I feel like in the long run, we'll end up having more fulfilling relationships that work better because we're going to be with someone because we're really choosing them and not for something else. Yeah.
And I think like there's a lot of podcasts out there on Tinternet, you know, where you'll hear like guys and girls kind of, you know, spouting this belief or that belief or this or that, and cool, like whatever you want your opinion to be, fine, you jibber jabber on and enjoy that. But I ultimately think that when it comes to kind of like intimate relationships, there's so much more to it than like sex. There's so much more to it than how much money someone earns or, you know,
how tall they are
or how like what either masculine or feminine, all of those things, define them for yourselves, whatever. But I actually think that like if you're someone who's done some work on yourself, and if you're someone who is willing to be like emotionally available and vulnerable with somebody, that kind of deep level of connection where someone knows you so well, and it's kind of like the safety that comes from that, and the like that is what I want. Like that relationship that I guess that I have like with my best friend, I want that with someone that I just want to have sex with all the time.
Love that.
If I did want to have sex with my best friend, I would steal her from her husband. But I don't. So, you know, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like she's my soulmate, but I just don't fancy her.
Yeah. But that's beautiful though, because we can still have fulfilling relationships that just aren't sexual. And that's what I feel like. I feel like I have had a lot of situationships or a lot of just sexual situations. And like the thing with the last guy I was seeing, I felt like I learned so much about romantic love and like not just everything being sexual all the time. I learned so much about like what compromise and what it takes to make a relationship work, or what would be a healthy relationship, because my last relationship prior to this was very toxic and I was still quite young and naive and I didn't know a lot. So I honestly view everything after that, because that situation traumatized the fuck out of me. And I've gone through therapy since then. I've healed a lot of my traumas and issues that I had. So I feel like everything moving forward from like 2020 or 2021, I feel like a brand new person with a brand new brain, because I've worked all this shit out, moved through it. And so now I feel like I'm learning so much from a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
And like, even though this situation that I've just been in didn't work out, I learned so much. Like I wouldn't change it, because I learned what I want in a partner, what I don't want.
That is the turning point. When you have a relationship like that you come out of with absolute clarity of, I never want to experience this again, but I do want this. So, you know, you have that kind of partner that shows you maybe both sides of the coin. So it's like, yes, there are really great things about them, but there's also really crappy things about them. And, you know, and you have conversations with them and you talk to them about things, but they're not willing to kind of change or look at themselves. And you get to a point where it's like, I've exhausted all my options. I can't do this anymore. However, I walk out of this knowing exactly what I do and don't want. That's an incredible place to get to, because it gives you like ultimately so much like clarity, I guess. And then I think it makes being single easier. And that's where my boundaries come from. That's where my boundaries now come from, because it's like, I know the yeses and the nos for me in your behavior and the way that you act. And I'm only going to allow you so many chances to mess up. And then it's just going to be off. The button's off, done, finished. You're out.
Yeah. Because I feel like when you date a lot, I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel like at a certain point when you've encountered people who act the same or do the same things, you become a bit jaded. Like I expect, especially when I'm dating men, like I'm not trying to be no man hater or anything like that. I love men, but I feel like when you experience the same things with the same people, or poor communication, or unaware of themselves, or don't know how to regulate, like whatever it is, it just makes me a bit jaded. But then at the same time, it's like, am I just choosing the wrong people? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. I'm choosing the wrong people. It's me.
Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. No, I don't think it is that. I honestly think this is the world that we live in right now. You're just going to have to go through it. However, I do think entering every situation feeling like this is going to go the same way is probably not great. But we have to keep putting ourselves out there if we want to have a relationship. But for me, what I've done is just slowed everything down. So it's like, I'm not going to sleep with this person because I don't know who they are. Yeah. And I want a relationship. If I wanted to have casual sex, which I have done so many times in my life, a lot, I put in the work. But I'm at a place now where it's like, I know that's not what I want. Yeah. So let's just take that off the table for a bit. Let's get to know each other. Yeah. And then your inconsistencies are going to show themselves. Better.
Like when you're slowing the whole process down, because it's like you're really getting to know, oh, you know what, actually I don't want to do that. Because when you start fucking someone, everything goes out the window. That's like, what I mean. I just love to have sex. So it's like I'll be fucking. So but when you start doing that, like everything just starts getting confusing in your mind, because it's like, oh, well, they've treated me badly, but I just want to have sex one more time, and blah, blah. And it can,
and that's why I've started taking it off the table, because it's just like, actually this is not, I want a relationship, and the sex bit I'm pretty sure is going to be good when we have it, as long as the other foundational stuff is there first, because I want it to be more than just a physical thing. I want it to be emotional. I want the intimacy to be there. I want all of that stuff to be there, the trust, all of that. And if that can't be there, then that's going to show itself so quickly, quickly. And then I'm going to be like, oh. And also I feel like if I haven't had sex with someone, I've like kind of exactly what you just said, I've invested nothing really other than my time. So if I end up saying not you, then that's fine. Like if I end up saying I'm not going to deal with this, I'm not going to put up with this, then bye boy.
Don't you feel like the longer you go without having sex, like the less important it is? I feel like when you have sex more often, the more you want it.
Yeah, that's very true. It's like once you pop, you can't stop. Like that's it. And I do think that it's like if I think back to the last time I had sex, I can't even remember who the last person I had sex with. Oh yes, I can. And you're kind of in that space where it's like, especially if you're someone who has a high sex drive or whatever, it's like, oh, I want to do it again. But then, I guess at that point, the last time that I had sex, which was 13 months ago, this isn't the longest that I've been without sex, but we're nearly there. 14 months is, so we're nearly breaking records. That guy, it was just at the end of that experience, I was like, I'm not doing that again. Yeah. Like I'm not having sex with someone unless I know that we're on the same page and we want the same thing. So that was that. That was the end of that, everybody.
Damn.
Diggity damn. Do you think that there is, because for me, as a nearly 40-year-old woman, and I think even once you start to get into your like past like 32, 33, like once you start to get to 35 and onwards, there does seem to be like more stigma and shame around being still single. And like it's almost like, oh, you're still single, like it's something you should be embarrassed about. And I do think there's a lot of people out there who do feel like that, or do feel like, what's wrong with me? Like, why does no one want me? Why does no one love me? Like all of those things. And don't get me wrong, I've thought and felt those. And the interesting thing is, I think like once you've cultivated a different inner voice, those thoughts are still there and they'll still creep up. But the other inner voice is like, no, not today. We're not doing this today. No. Because actually there's nothing wrong with you. And there's no reason that you can't be loved or that you can't have the relationship that you want. It's just one of those it's just one of those things. Do you know what I mean?
Also, why does life have to go the way that society tells you it's supposed to go?
It doesn't.
Like, why do we have to like go to school, then grow up and get a job and find a partner and get married and have kids? What? And then you have like 50 more years of your life where you're just fucking miserable because you didn't do nothing. Like, no, why do we have to do that? You don't have to have a partner in order to be fulfilled. Like, yes, human connection is amazing.
Of course.
But it doesn't have to be from a husband or a wife or whoever it might be. I feel like as well, I saw this thing ages ago where it was people asking elderly people like the secret to long life or something like that, or what made them happy. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. And there was one woman that was like, I've been single my whole life and I was super happy, like, because I just did exactly what I wanted to do and whatever. Maybe
Yeah.
she wasn't single her whole life. I can't remember anyway, but she was older and she was just saying having a partner is not the be all and end all. You never know.
It's not, but don't, I still want it. Like that's, you know, that's the truth.
I want it as well, but
I'm not going to be like, I'm not someone who's out here being like, yeah, that's it. And there are people who are completely happy being single and they don't want a partner and they are in their space, in their element, like smashing life, and they genuinely are absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But I would say like maybe that might be me at some point in my life, but right now that's not me. Like I definitely want a partner and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No,
I just know what I want. And like I've said so many times, I am just not going to waste a moment of my life being unhappy because I haven't met the right person yet. That just seems silly to me. What I'm going to sit here and go, right, I'm not going to live my life until they get here. I'm not going to live my life until they get here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live.
You're waiting forever.
But also, you're going to meet them when you're out there living your life.
Not going to meet them while you're at the fucking Sainsbury's.
Well, you might. You can bump into them and say, but you're not when you're sat at home, you know, being sad and miserable. And, you know, you've also got to think about, and even if whether you believe in like law of attraction and manifestation or not, that's one thing. You can, if you don't believe in it, chuck it out the window. But what will make a difference, so the law of attraction and manifestation essentially would say, if you want to attract a person into your life, you have to feel as if you already have that, because that's the energetic frequency that aligns with that external experience, right? But if you don't believe in that, fair enough, don't believe in it. However, when you are happy and you're feeling good and you're feeling confident, you're going to be going out into the world, your body language is going to be different, you're going to be more attractive to people, and you're going to see people. Like a lot of the times when you're like not in a good, you're like looking at the floor, you're not even noticing. Your man or woman could have just walked straight past you and you didn't even see them. So whether you believe in law of attraction or manifestation or not, I don't care. But having a positive mindset and feeling good about the things you want rather than feeling the lack of not having them and the sadness around that is only going to help you attract someone that is aligned with what you want and make you more attractive.
100%.
So
love that.
We got to do it. We got to work on the internal world.
Yeah, and it's about being happy by yourself. That's a big thing, like doing everything that you want to do and being fulfilled by yourself. So then when someone comes into your life, like we said, it's just perfect little match.
Perfect little match. And also when you're single, it's a good chance to explore your own body.
Big time.
Find out what you like, what you don't like, what turns you on. Again, so all of those things make you a better partner and a better communicator, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's important. The other thing, and I thought something we could speak about a little bit, is because we're talking about us and our experience of being single, but I know for some people that it's, you know, that people find it really difficult. And we got where's my phone? It's not there. We got a DM, and I think we should like read this dilemma and then talk to it a little bit, because I feel like we have probably got some good advice or some good answers that we can give. And so let's do this one. I'm lonely, depressed, and feel like no one that I want wants me back. Living alone, finding it difficult to make new friends and socialise in general. It's like I really want a companion, but also feel like I'm not good enough anymore, lacking motivation too. I just want a hug and someone to snuggle up to, go out with, eat together. I'm feeling it so bad right now. So bad.
Oh,
that's, you know, like really sad.
Yeah.
But also my first thing is having a partner is not going to solve the loneliness or the like feeling depressed or any of that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my phone charger behind me, but it's fine. I don't need it. You have to get over all of those things by yourself first.
Yeah. Because it's like, say someone does come in and makes you feel better. What happens if they leave?
Yeah.
Like you're still going to feel the same way again.
Yeah.
Because the problem's inside you and you're temporarily putting a plaster on it.
Yeah.
But the problem is still there.
Yeah. That's basically it. You summed it up in a nutshell. Like, if that's genuinely how you're feeling, like you're feeling lonely, you're feeling like depressed, all of those things. Don't get me wrong. We all feel a bit lonely from time to time, or we all feel a bit alone from time to time. But I can shift myself out of that space so quickly. Like it's not a big deal to me. If it was really impacting me and I felt really bad, then I can't expect my good feeling to come from an external source. I need to work out what's going on with me.
Yeah.
Also, like feeling like you're not good enough to have a partner.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for disaster, and that's low self-esteem. So you need to work on, so you feel like I deserve to be loved. Like I know I deserve love. I know I am like valuable. I know I'm an incredible person. Like, not to sound arrogant, but I don't mean it in that way. I know I do. I know I am. I know all of those things. So, you know, if someone's not going to do that, that's okay, because someone else will. But you got to do the work on yourself.
Yeah, like as cliche as it sounds and annoying as it sounds, you have to work on yourself, and you have to work on loving yourself and validating yourself before anyone else can validate you, because that's the only way it works. Like, and I know it's like, oh, love yourself, but it's like, it's fucking true, man, because who else is going to do it? Like, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?
Can I say something that I like figured out a little while ago, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I figured out. If I say to you, I love you, right?
Yeah.
If I was like, I love you, when I say the words I love you, you can't feel my love. Like the way I experience love and the way you experience love, like what you feel in your body and what I feel in my body could be two completely different things, right? And so actually what happens is, if you say like, oh, they love me and I love them, right? And I'm saying to you, I love you. And then that inspires you to feel your own love. You can't feel someone else's love. You're feeling your own love. They're inspiring you to feel your own love. And so if it's you feeling the love, then that feeling is available to you at any time, right? But they're just happening to be the inspiration at that time. But actually you're cultivating that feeling. So that feeling therefore is available to you all the time if you learn how to cultivate it. And I'm not saying it's that easy, but it's just like they're inspiring me to feel my own love. That's what's happening.
That's so sweet. Because that isn't it, like if someone says to you, I love you, it makes you think, or think about all the things about you that are so lovable or that are attractive to that person. That's so sweet. But I feel like in my head, like there's like voices. No, I feel like there's, it's like I have different people inside me. So it's like, I will also,
excuse the pun.
I will
not right now.
Different people is like, ooh, meow, meow. See, you're always talking about sexual stuff.
I can't help it.
Michelle says it's me and it's not, it's you.
Can I just say one thing? I hear sexual innuendo in everything all the time. The most inappropriate. It could be a vicar saying something. It could be, you know, like a parent. It could be in a really serious business meeting. If someone says something, I have to hold in, not like pointing out what they've just said. Like I find it so difficult not to be like. So when you do it, I can't help it. Sorry, carry on.
It's me right now. Wait, what was I talking about?
Sorry.
Not this again. My
You're
brain is
different
like
people inside you. Oh, the voices inside you.
The thing about me is, I will talk to myself as if I'm my best friend. So it's like when I'm going through something hard or when I'm going through something good, like I'll be like, oh my God, that's amazing, well done. Or you can get through this, babe, it's all right. Like I talk to myself as if I'm an external source or as if I'm my own best friend. And I feel like that really helps because like when you're going through hardships, then it's like you have yourself there. I was listening to a podcast recently. I think it's called Aware and Aggravated. It's this guy from TikTok. I can't remember. His name's Leo. Anyway, he was talking about how when he looks in the mirror, he sees that as a different person. And like, even though it's him, he sees it as a different person. And I think he was talking about being alone and whatnot and how it makes him feel comforted that there's someone there. It's like, in my head, I'm like, I'm there for myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not just that I feel these feelings. I feel these feelings and then there's the other side of me that's rooting for me and trying to make me feel better. And
you've cultivated a positive internal voice. And I didn't have that for ages. And that's something that I worked really hard to get. And I'll never forget the day when I really realized it was there, where I was like driving to work and I had the kind of like negative thoughts coming in. And then this other voice just swooped in and was like, no, not today. We are not doing this. Like we have worked. And I was just like,
yeah,
yes, it's here. And you're right. Like like I was saying to you earlier, when those thoughts come in, like, oh, I'm not good enough, no one loves me, I start to think those, and then that voice is like, no, you are good enough, you do deserve to be loved. And that part of me, that voice is stronger, more determined, more meaningful, and I associate with it so much more than I do the other
100%
little jibber jabber.
How do you think someone cultivates that though? I feel like I started doing that a lot when I was like going on my self-love journey. I feel like it got really strong. Like I used to around like 2019, 2020 times, I started having like anxiety attacks. Yeah. Because I was like just going through so much mentally. And then this voice started in my head that every time I started having that or started having a freak out, this voice would be like, you're safe, it's fine, don't worry. I feel like that really solidified the voice that was like comforting.
That's like an affirmation, isn't it? It's almost like affirmation that you're doing that. But I think with me, it was because I got to a point in my life where I say this, I was 28 when my sister died. And up until that point, so my mum died when I was 9, my sister died at 28. So, you know, there's obviously almost 20 years between the two. That 20 years, my life was a chaotic mess, from eating disorders to, you know, like casual sex all over the place, to all of these different things that were really messy. And when my sister died, it was just like, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Something has to give. And at that point, I was reading loads of biographies of people who had really difficult lives, like way worse than mine, you know? And I know everything's relative, and they'd found a place where they were happy.
Yeah.
Like they'd found a place where they created a life that they wanted. And I was like, do you know what? If they can fucking do it, and they've been through what they've been through, there has to be a way for me to do it. Like there has to be. And, you know, we're talking like 11 years, 12 years ago now, I've read hundreds of self-help and spiritual books. I have been on seminars. I've been to retreats. I've done so many different things because I had this relentless desire that I was not going to feel sorry for myself anymore. I didn't want to hate myself anymore. I didn't want my life to be messy and chaotic. I wanted to learn how to love myself and to be happy and enjoy life.
Yeah. It's so hard though. I think in this day and age as well, we had this whole toxic positivity thing, and then people were like, I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like it's hard to strike a balance between sympathizing with yourself but also being like, nah, come on, we can do this. It's going to be all right. And like, not a tough love, but, you know,
it's self-love.
Egging yourself on.
Yeah.
And it's hard to strike that balance between the two, because I feel like I've been in both ends where like I was too harsh on myself. Then I felt like I was too lenient with myself. And then it's like, you got to strike it.
But all of that's part of the creating a relationship with yourself. And all of that is part of self-love, right? I think the toxic positivity for me is the idea that no matter what's happening in your life, you should just be positive the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, loving yourself and even being positive or manifestation or any of that shit that you want to do involves you feeling emotion, expressing emotion, processing emotion, and it's not supposed to feel good all the time. Life is never going to feel good all the time. There's going to be highs and lows. It's how you deal with it, and it's finding some kind of internal consistency throughout all of it.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And I'd say I reached a rock bottom. And sometimes you get to the point where like, I've had enough. I've had enough of being a victim. I've had enough of feeling sorry for myself. I've had enough of being sad all the time and being poor me. I've had enough. And that's where I got to after my sister died. I was like, no way is this going to be my life. No way.
And it's such a mindset of lack that doesn't really let in any opportunity for happiness and joy and
because you're so sad because my life is so bad, and I was like that. I was like that. Like I hold my hands up. I take accountability for that, and that's the biggest thing is taking accountability. It's like actually it's all down to me. Like I can blame the outside world. I can blame my past. I can blame so and so for not doing this and that person for not doing that. But I'm the only one that can change it. Like it's on me, and taking that responsibility. Taking accountability and then actually actioning stuff and not giving up. Again, that journey for me has been like this. But now this is why it makes me laugh. So when people come at me, when I do stuff about being single and try and tell me about how I can't be happy and single, and as a woman, I need to have had children and, like all of this stuff. It's like, I have been through the mill. Like, so you can't tell me anything about myself because I already know it all. I know it all. And so it's just like, you don't know what I've been through to get to this place. Yeah. It hasn't been an easy, I'm happy and single, jazz hands. It's been a lot.
Like when you know yourself, it's just the best. You get to grips with yourself and you know yourself.
Get to grips with yourself.
See, she's doing the innuendos again.
I can't help it. I told you. It's just the way I am. All right.
Do you want me to read you? What do you want to do first? You want to do Dilemma or Saucy Secrets?
So we'll do another Dilemma and then we'll do Saucy Secrets. Hi, girls. Right. Now, this is an experience that I think we can all relate to. Hi, girlies. So I need help with this guy. I was seeing him for about 4 months at the start of this year and spent a lot in capital letters of time with him, going on dates and staying over for days on end at his house. He was really acting like a full-on boyfriend. He got me a toothbrush at his house for when I stayed over, for fuck's sake. Eye roll,
Oh
emoji.
my God.
Then I felt the energy shift. The replies got longer apart, and he would silence his notifications some nights from 6 p.m, then tell me the next day he had a migraine. Laughing face emoji, laughing face emoji.
You know what triggers me when I see
haven't finished yet.
Sorry, but when I see someone's phone on Do Not Disturb, I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're obviously with someone else. This boy thinks I'm dumb. I obviously know what he's doing, but why act like you're trying to wife me up if it's just casual? Anyway, I could not be arsed with the situation, so I left him to it. But of course, he came crawling back, laughed my ass off. He's asked me out on a date. Thing is, I missed the dick. Yeah, I know. Laughing face. I'm now very aware he's not wanting anything more than sex and is clearly seeing other girls. Should I just go get the good sex or totally finish it with him and find someone else that can play with my heart? No.
I think that's a sticky one, you know.
Sticky.
Because really, like, yeah, you might have good sex, and look, I'm a sucker for good sex. I'll go back to someone that's toxic for some good dick.
Yeah.
Poussoir. But it's not worth it because you obviously have feelings for him. You were seeing him for 4 months and you were acting like boyfriend and girlfriend, and that's a sticky situation in itself, because now when you go to fuck him, I feel like when you leave, you're going to be feeling a bit sad because it's like, oh, but we were acting like this and I thought it was going here, and it's evidently not.
Yeah.
So it's like, just go and fuck someone else where you can just have the good dick and that's it, without the mess.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I think if it can't be more than casual, and then it can, but in most cases, if you actually like this person, it can't go from really being more than casual and then just go back to casual, and you're going to be totally cool with it and never want, more than that, and it's probably going to lead to you getting hurt.
Messy.
It's
gonna get real messy, and like, you will be knowing, if you can't cope with the idea of knowing that he's fucking other girls.
I'd hate that. I would hate that.
I can deal with that, but not with someone that I want to, like, that I fancy.
Yeah, not if I like
with.
them. I couldn't deal with it if I like them. That would drive me insane if I like them. Like,
you're just going to get angry.
Yeah.
And jealous. And that's not, you don't want to put yourself through that.
I don't think so.
It's just stress.
I would just leave it there. And obviously it depends if you want casual sex, find someone that can give you good casual sex without, getting the emotions and stuff involved.
Yeah.
Or if you want a relationship, find someone who's on the same page as you, and then wait and see how they act, and then, go for a relationship if they treat you the way you want to be treated.
But I get it, because it's like, when the good sex is there and it's so easily accessible, it's difficult, because that thought of like, I have to go out and meet people and go on dates and then just to see if we're compatible sexually or not. But
good dick is good dick.
I just feel like,
sorry to state the obvious.
What do you mean? Good dick is good dick?
Good dick is good. Like, sometimes, like, there's varying different levels, isn't there? of
yeah.
dick. Like, some of it is like, okay.
Yeah.
Some of it's horrible. Some of it's
so we've
okay.
got like mediocre dick.
Yeah. Like, if
above
it's
average
good,
dick.
Good. Yeah.
Good dick.
Yeah. Like, if it's good.
Exceptional dick.
Exactly. So if it's up there, it's hard to match sometimes. And then you're like, everyone you're with after that, you're kind of comparing it to that.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is find an exceptional dick.
Yeah, but I feel like she's in a good place right now, because she's in a place where it's not really bothering her anymore. She's a bit impartial. She can take it or leave it. So if you go back to it, I feel like it's going to bring all them emotions up, and you're just going to put yourself in an emotional taxing situation that you actually didn't need to be in, because you was already out of it. But now you're going to step your foot back into it just for some peen.
Yeah, no, it's
not worth it.
Never
and
worth
you know
it.
what? Like, I love how I'm saying all this, because I just never listen to my own advice.
But it doesn't mean that, you can't give
the
good
coaches
advice.
don't play, the coaches coach.
That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
Coaches don't play, the coaches coach. And yeah, I think it's just not worth it, actually, to be fair.
No, neither do I. Go and find someone else. You know what? I've been having some good dick lately. So it's everywhere.
Good dick is everywhere.
End of sentence.
End of sentence. That's it. That's the title of this episode.
Yeah. Good dick is everywhere.
Good dick is everywhere.
So I know what you want now. Do you want me to give it to you?
Can I burp?
You want it? I'll give it to you. No, not into the microphone.
No, it's silent anyway. I should blow it over to you.
Thank
blow
you
it
so
over your
much.
way. You've got to introduce this next part.
Poor little audio listeners listen to you belch down the
Someone might like that. It's like AMSNR or whatever it's called.
ASMR. Don't even get me started on my ASMR. Look at it. She loves it. Anyway, I'll stop flirting.
No one can say who you're talking. By the way, if you are listening to this podcast, Emma is pointing at Misal, who is our videographer. And Emma's new. What would you call yourself?
I need a little plaything. I'm just kidding. Not this. She looks
looks
no,
like.
I'm just kidding. My new friend.
Basically, you two have been winding each other up all day.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
Because we're both Leos.
Right.
So we just get each other's
like,
humour.
Rah. No.
Meow. Meow. Anyway, so You know what it's time for? This is our first episode, so they don't know what it's time for.
No.
This is our saucy secrets.
Saucy secrets.
Time for some saucy secrets,
It's time
darling.
for some secrets, and they're saucy. Like what kind of saucy? Not just like...
Not mayo. I'm talking like homemade, like saucy little salsa verde that you put on top of the steak, chimichurri. You know what I mean? You know the chimichurri when it's got like oil and all the stuff and it's real saucy
Yeah.
and oily.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, after you eat it, it looks like you've got lip balm on, but you don't. It's just because you ate some sauciness.
That's saucy.
This is the kind of sauce we're talking about. So I asked on Instagram, what was the moment that made you realize how single you are? And here are some of the responses. I check my work phone more regularly than my personal phone. You know, you're just scrolling through the emails. You don't even have text to reply if you're just going through the emails.
That's basically my life. Welcome to my life. I don't have a work phone, but I would just, you know, I find myself just checking like random apps.
Yeah.
Check out ASOS, see if they've messaged me, you know.
Duolingo. Start doing a language
Anything,
test.
just so I get some notifications.
Yeah. Having a wank and a vape instead of a cigarette after sex. That little peach ice hit different.
Yeah.
After that, woo.
Woohoo.
Single occupancy fees on holiday.
What is that?
That's what I was just about to say. What is that? Is that like when you, maybe
You've
it's
only
all
got
inclusive and there's only one of you in
room.
your room?
You have to pay more.
Single occupancy.
It's,
You know what else? You know what else makes me, no, I've got it.
What is it?
What makes me realise how single I am is when I'm ordering on Deliveroo and I get like small order fee because I've not got enough food. Because it's
Just
only
order more food and have it the next
well,
day,
of course, that's what I
babes.
do. I don't pay the fee. I'm just saying it makes me realise how single I am because I got no one to share the food
My one
with.
was when I didn't get a +1 for my own brother's wedding.
Not this. They even knew. They were just like, you know what? No.
She's so single. There's no point giving her a +1. Bearing in mind, I mean, I got the invite 6 months before the wedding. No
Oh my
faith,
God.
no hope that I would have found a boyfriend in that time. I mean, they were right, but still.
That's not the point.
The point is, that's when I realised how single I was.
Okay.
Also, another thing that makes me weird, and I suppose this could happen if you're not single, but when the delivery driver like tries to chat you up, I mean, maybe that just happens.
This never
anyway.
happens to me. I'm not even lying. It's never in my life happened.
Really, it
Yeah.
happened to me the other day. It was a bit strange. Felt a bit uncomfortable.
Maybe it's because I always go down like in my pajamas with like my hair on top of my head, just looking a bit bummy. It is what it is. You're just a natural beauty. Meow. Anyway, I had a free house and instead of asking someone over, I was in bed for 9 p.m. with my teddy.
I've got a teddy. I've got a pink unicorn.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't have a teddy.
No, I like to hug it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like them big ones that you get at Costco.
Yeah, like
Giant.
a big, yeah, like not like a huge. You can get a pregnancy pillow because then you could spoon.
Yeah, I
that.
love that.
But this isn't that big. It
Okay.
probably only comes down to about like my belly when I hug it. But it's still, it's still enough
I
to
love
hug.
that. I've got a little hot water bottle that's like a giraffe.
Ooh, giraffe.
Jeffrey the
Ooh,
giraffe.
Love it.
Yeah.
How single you are when you've got a teddy and a hot water bottle. This is it.
Hot water bottle is, yeah, it's giving single. When I'm listening to love songs and no one to think of. I relate to this because you start imagining a little scenario in your head when you're listening to the love songs.
Can I say something though? I realised this the other day. Some of the love songs that I love the most, I'm not talking about ones that are talking about sex, but I'm talking about ones that are talking about love. If you made it as if it was you singing it to yourself, it's a really beautiful experience.
Oh my God, you're so cute.
Yeah, but this is it's like makes me cry sometimes because I'm like, oh, that's how much I love myself. I really do.
No, because every song I don't know why I'm thinking about Music Soul Child Love, the song.
Yeah.
And I just think if I was singing to me to me.
Yeah.
Oh.
See? Do that. Put on your favourite love song and then pretend you're singing it. So like pretend it's written by you for you. Yeah.
Love that. I like to cry at wedding videos and how I met vids. So how me and my partner met videos. Not this. When families start asking if you're gay. Yeah. Why always got to be gay though? Like why can't we just be single?
Well, yeah, like
not automatically that I'm a closet lesbian.
Can I just say something? If I was gay, I probably wouldn't be single right now, would I?
Literally. You know what? I can't even say shit because I'm best of both worlds and I'm still single.
You're best of both worlds. But
Yeah.
I do think like sometimes it's a curse that I'm not bisexual. Do you know what I mean?
I feel you.
Yeah. I really wish I was, but I just don't find women sexually attractive. I wish I could.
Oh my God.
I know, it's a curse.
I feel like I've not given it enough airtime in my life. Like I really want to give it more airtime.
Give it
The
more
women, because
airtime.
I'm giving men way too much fucking airtime and they don't deserve it.
Yeah,
So maybe that's what the next chapter of my life is.
go for it.
Poussoir only. Anyway, Yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of the last time I had sex. So single.
I've had that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad though. Quite a good anniversary.
And then completely contrary to that, we've got when I had 4 different men's penis pics in my phone on one weekend. In brackets, all consensual.
Wow. Can you send me a dick pic?
She was
Can you send me a
scrolling
dick
through.
pic? Can you send me a dick pic? Then you can just like flick through and be like,
ooh,
nope,
we just got the nicest one.
Nope. Yep.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like try before you buy.
Why not?
Okay. I downloaded a dating app and deleted it, then downloaded it again.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Dating apps. We need to do an episode on dating apps.
We do.
Because this is my toxic trait. I'd be like, oh, fine, I'll download the app. Download it. I have it for 2 days. It's gone. Like I chat to people and then I'm just sick of it.
Let's just think. I've been single for 5 years. How many times do you think I have deleted and downloaded, re-downloaded dating apps in that time?
Too many times
like
to mention.
No, maybe hundreds is a bit much, but not too far off. Because I'm just like, no, I'm deleting it. I'm never going back on it again. And then it's like 2 weeks time. I'm like, I'll just give it another try.
Yeah. And each time I get actually more pissed off and more sick of it.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. When someone asked me who my crush was and nobody came to mind.
Oh. I hate that. That's really hard. Like when you don't have a crush on somebody and there's just no one. Like there's just no one. I don't fancy anyone. I don't have a crush on anyone.
When you're single, do you ever feel single, like got no one?
Yeah.
Or I never feel like that. I feel like there's always a roster.
There's
to
no
some
roster
degree.
for me. There's none. I have no roster. I have 0 people.
That must be so relaxing though. I'm trying to get to that stage of my life.
It's fine.
That's what I mean. Relaxing.
Oh, lovely.
So the question that we're asking is what was the moment that made you realize how single you are? Having a week off work and not speaking verbally to anyone in 7 days. I feel like that's me.
Retreat.
Like I live alone. I can go days on end without saying a word to anyone because no one's there and I'm not leaving the house.
I speak to my cat though all the time.
I don't have a cat. I'm
Speak
just
to
literally
yourself? Out loud?
In my own head, I'll speak to myself, but not out loud. I might send a voice note and I'm just hearing my own voice. And then it's just...
I speak to my cat. Poor her.
Let's see. Every time I carry groceries up the stairs by myself. That is like a fucking Olympic sport. Carrying groceries by yourself.
Just get it delivered.
No. Even have to take them from downstairs to... Oh, but you live in a house. I live in an apartment building. Like I have to take them from downstairs to upstairs.
Yeah.
I'm having to get the trolley out. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, I hear you.
And
Just hire someone. Hire a man for that.
There's a man for that. When I craved feeling a penis against my bum as I slept. By the way, it didn't say penis. It was an aubergine emoji, but what should I call it? When I crave feeling a peen against my bum as I slept.
Yeah, like the spoon in.
Just a little something.
Yeah.
Okay. Every day I leave the house with my clothes unzipped at the back because I can't reach. That's what I'm leaving you with. I feel that pain. That's why I don't wear clothing with zips because it's just game over. You know the little buttons?
Yeah.
That's the one that'll get you. The little buttons at the neck. No, I can't even do it.
I mean, I think I know how single I am by how hairy my fanny is.
You know what? Bush ain't all bad.
It's not bad. I'm just saying, like, you know, if I was gonna be having sex with someone, I'd like tidy it up, neaten it up.
I get you.
Still, like, you know, I like to have a little bit of, hair there. That's fine. Yeah. But when there's no one on the scene, I just let it go wild. We've got to wrap it up. Right, this has been our podcast. It's called Things I Wish My Mum Had Told Me. This has been episode 1.
Yay!
We've got great things still to come. Please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, leave a review. Everything. Follow us on Instagram. What is it?
mumtoldmepod.
Yes.
I'm scrambling now. I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my job.
Send us your saucy secrets.
Yes, baby girls.
You can send them to mumtoldmepod@gmail.com and your dilemmas as well. We'll be back next week with what?
Another episode.
Ciao for now.
Mwah. Bye.